Join us over the next few weeks as we follow the route of the stunning Northumberland 250. Information boards on Jedburgh. We've seen this as we've been driving around, haven't we?
Yes.
It's quite prominent on a hill.
Waterloo Monument.
It has a castle, jail and museum. Jedburgh Abbey is one of the four major abbeys of the Scottish borders that were built in the 12th century. And the abbey was built by King David I of Scotland for Augustinian canons. In Jedburgh, King David was also aiming to show his English neighbours that he could match any grand building in England. Unfortunately, proximity to the Scottish-English border meant that the abbey was badly damaged and rebuilt several times during the Wars of Independence. We've just seen this plaque. I'll go over the road. Burns' house. Robert Burns lived in this house when he visited Jedburgh in 1787. He was waited on by the magistrates and presented with the freedom of the royal burgh.
Borough.
Blue plaque. The Royal Hotel. Early 19th century building was once known as Mr. Douglas's Inn and then as the Harrow. It was renamed to the visit to Jedburgh of Queen Victoria in 1867 when her retinue dined here. Notice the carriage penned on the left. Presume it's there, do you think? Or
I don't know.
nearby was the house where Robert Burns lodged during his visit when he was made a free man. I don't know whether it means this.
No, I don't.
Or probably that. Or
Yeah, I don't know.
not sure. And we do like our blue plaques. We've just spotted two close to each other. This is the entrance to Bridewell Jail.
Bridewell. I mean, Nottingham's jail's
Yeah.
Bridewell.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
This building, begun in 1756, replaced a toll booth which stood at the top of the Canongate. It contained a courthouse and prison. The spire was added in 1791 and contains 3 bells, including one from the abbey. The Burr Arms, dated 1720, above the arch, came from the wellhead of the town's first public water supply. There's the abbey. Towards the middle of the 9th century, when the area of Jedburgh was part of the Anglo-Saxon kingdom of Northumbria, there were 2 Jedworths, as Jedburgh was then known. One of them became the Jedburgh we know now, and the other was 4 miles to the south. According to Simeon of Durham, Ecred, Bishop of Lindisfarne, from 830 AD to 845 AD, gifted the 2 villages of the same name to the See of Lindisfarne. The southerly Jedworth was the place of Ecred's church, the first church in the parish, even, not Paris. We're not in Paris. Following the death of King David, the patronage and privileges of the abbey were accorded to his grandsons Malcolm IV of Scotland and William I of Scotland, also known as William the Lion. The king's son Henry had preceded his father in death. The nave and the choir were built in the 13th century and were in place by the time Alexander III of Scotland married Yolande, daughter of the Comte de Dreux, at the church. The great abbey was said to contain the finery of the best of Norman and early English architecture.
There's quite a bit of it still standing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite high, isn't it, compared to...
think if you
Some that are ruined.
put a roof on it, you could use it as a...
Yeah. The end came for the great Abbey of St Mary of Jedburgh in 1560 with the coming of the Scottish Reformation. Jedburgh Grammar School, which isn't too far away, was founded by the monks of Jedburgh Abbey in the late 15th century. When was your grammar school founded?
About 1500s. And we're standing on a gun platform raised in 1548 by a French force under General de Lys to defeat Jedburgh against the English. Defend Jedburgh against the English.
The town and abbey had already suffered from great damage in 1544 and 1545 during the campaign known as the Rough Wooing, which we've mentioned in previous videos on this trip, designed to force the Scots to marry their young Queen Mary to Edward, the son and heir of Henry VIII. As already said, King David I of Scotland founded this abbey. And then James Thomson, 1700 to 1748, son of a local minister. Thomson was educated in the grammar school, which was then situated within this abbey, probably in the southeast corner. Where's the sun, Keith? You'll know.
Far side.
Moving to London, he became a renowned poet, famous particularly for his masterpiece, The Seasons, which I don't know. However, he's best remembered for the words of his patriotic song, Rule Britannia, which was published in 1740.
I didn't realise it was that old.
No. I'd always thought 1800s. Rule Britannia, Britannia rule the West. Britannia shall we flow. That's all the singing you're getting.
That's why it's raining.
It's a pity they've got the fencing up behind these railings, isn't it?
It is. So you can imagine cannon on this.
You can.
Defending the castle.
Big old church over there.
It's a long way round.
There's a clearer view of the abbey. Again, with all the historic buildings and ruins that we've seen, it's very ornate.
It is.
We've just seen this old post box, and usually you can tell what era they're from by the lettering, but this has got an emblem on it we don't recognise. Anyone know what that one is? We think it must be Victorian, but
I'm just wondering whether it's Victoria's Scottish monogram.
possibly. I really don't know. If any of you know, please do let us know. It's Saturday afternoon. It sounds very quiet, isn't it?
It is. We're still looking for that elusive coffee.
We've still not found coffee.
I've seen a couple of places, but
But then
moved on.
we see blue plaques. We're suffering for our art, Keith. I've just seen another blue plaque. Just over there. There are blue plaques everywhere. Abbey Place, improvements were part funded by the European Regional Development. Nothing exciting in that one. It's a public hall. This building was opened in 1901 as the town's main meeting place. It reclaimed the Corn Exchange, which had burned down in 1898. The basement of this building contains part of one of the many malt barns founded in Jedburgh until the 18th century, and it also housed the town's armoury.
So this, although it's now Carter's Rest, a pub and restaurant, it was the original grammar school.
So you've got town's armoury and the grammar school right next to it.
Yes.
You wonder whether they started to train the grammar school boys for the military, with them being so close to each other. I've never heard of him,
No, nor me.
but among the famous pupils was Sir David Brewster, who died in 1868, who was world famous for his studies of light and optics. So they're all close proximity, aren't they?
They are.
Abbey, armoury, grammar school, very ornate. This was placed in commemoration of the Golden Jubilee in the reign of Her Majesty Queen Victoria in 1887. There was a sign saying, "Not drinking water." Just looking a bit closer, there are animals. We can't work out what they are. Some are going up and some are coming down. Got long tails. I thought they might have been otters, but I'm really not sure. Blue plaques. There's a blue plaque town trail here.
32 of them.
I don't think we'll get through them all.
No. I think some are just sort of memorising or celebrating visits.
I mean, Mary, Queen of Scots, visited and stayed for a while. The Battle of Burnwind. I don't know what that one is. We'll just wander because we're still searching for coffee. Oh, the Battle of Burnwind. Oh, it's here. The Royal Borough, Jedburgh, the Battle of Burnwind, 1601. On the road, fair day, 30 armed men, mostly Turnbulls, pursuing an ancient feud, forced their way into the borough near here at the Burnwind port. They challenged their enemy, Sir Thomas Kerr, who lived in the tower in the marketplace. The Burghs took up arms and in bloody affray ensued. The townsfolk won the day. Sir Thomas Kerr was amongst the dead. And Turnbull, just up there, there's Turnbull's funeral directors. So local name. Anyway, we need a coffee, don't we?
We do.
Tradition has it that these are the oldest licensed premises in Scotland. The facade dates from the 18th century, but within there's evidence of a much older building, perhaps a tower which defended the marketplace. Mary, Queen of Scots, may have lodged at the inn here in 1566. But she may not. So this is the main street.
Which is narrower than some main streets.
It is, isn't it?
It's narrower than the road the other way.
Yeah. Nosy at house prices though.
You'd have to get your passport sorted.
Not bad prices, are they?
No.
Looking at 325,000, 122,000. Offers over 145,000.
80,000.
Not bad prices at all.
I suppose you need to know where they are.
Yeah, they could be not the nicest of areas, couldn't they? Heading back up the street again on the other side of the road now. Off the other side of the street. We are going to get out coffee. Like what we'd like, really. Now we're looking at 380,000, 495,000.
500,000.
Yeah, so we're looking at more expensive ones now. Which we'd like, 795,000. We found coffee and we've ordered pies as well because we're hungry. We've only had toast this morning. And while we're sat waiting, Keith's been Googling and he's found the post box.
Well, found the post box, which is Victorian. That's Queen Victoria's monogram. I think it's an old monogram. But that was what was on the post box, isn't it?
Yeah. So, Monsieur Google is our friend again. Pie in there. You had a Scotch pie, didn't you? Yes. I had a steak pie, and there was a lot of meat in the steak pie. And the coffee corner. It was very nice. It was on at least busy for us. Okay, we'll give you one last plaque before we leave Jedburgh. Sir Walter Scott up there. He was a frequent attender at the circuit courts held in this place, making his first appearance as an advocate in a criminal trial in 1793. And the tablet was erected on the centenary of Sir Walter's death as a tribute of admiration and affection. And it was unveiled by Lady Maxwell Scott of Abbotsford in 1932. And Jedburgh was formerly the county town of Roxburghshire and the seat of the Sheriff Court and High Court. And here were council office as well as courthouse. And in 1812, French prisoners of war helped construct a townhouse here. And early in his career, Walter Scott was an advocate in trials here. And nowadays, it's still the Sheriff's Court. That's Jedburgh, done and dusted. And now we start going into the countryside again, don't we?
We do. Back into England and down towards Kielder and that area.
But a very Scottish thing is curling. And there's some information here.
And there's a Jedburgh curling club and they're inviting people to learn, play and watch. So trycurling.com.
You can always have a look. We're not finished with Jedburgh because we've just been stocked up with chocolate because that's important, and milk. Blue plaque. This was a Black Bull Inn, and in 1726 a murder took place here.
Sir Gilbert Elliot of Stobbs drew his sword and stabbed Colonel Stewart of Stewartfield.
Much alcohol had been taken and an argument about political matters had arisen.
Sir Gilbert escaped and hid in the graveyard later to be smuggled abroad and ultimately pardoned. It's not what you know,
It's
who you know.
We've just been talking and we've just been saying, people say that you can do this route in 5 days. Well, we're on day 8 now, and
We're feeling rushed.
we're feeling like we're rushing it. Yes, very much so. Because there is so much to see. If you can slow down and spend longer doing it, you'll
Get
take
more
it.
out of it.
I mean, it depends what you want. I mean, we like doing the history, don't we? If you just want to drive it and say we've done it, fair enough. But if you want to really slow down and discover things, and there are some nice sights as well that you miss out on if you rush. But that's us. Each to their own. We're very much our own, aren't we?
Yeah.
So yes, we've stocked up on chocolate, but only because it was reduced, a lot of it anyway. So I have got an excuse. Back to the van now, and the dogs. We didn't take the dogs with us because I think basically they're a bit knackered and needed a bit of a rest. But I did have a look around and didn't see many signs that said dogs welcome, like we've seen in other places, and didn't see any drinking bowls outside the shops like you see, or we have seen in a lot of areas. So possibly not the most dog-friendly town, but a lovely town nonetheless. Keith's already started on the chocolate.
I have.
He said he needed something sweet, and I wasn't sweet enough. Hello.
Come out then.
We've already got you treats in the van. We've not finished, have we?
No, we found something else.
Come with us.